Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about a short film I made in 2018 called The Climber. In 2018, towards the end of winter and into the spring, I made a short film all by myself called The Climber. And if you haven't seen it yet, I would highly encourage you to check it out. I have it in the description below because today I will be going behind the scenes. This short film was a lot of fun to make, and it was a pretty big deal. It took my production skills and my commitment to a whole new level. In all the close-up shots that you see me hugging the tree, I wasn't technically actually on the tree in midair, just climbing it. I was actually squatting on a ladder I had propped up against the trunk because I needed my head to be in the right framing of my camera that I had chose. And it was actually kind of funny because I was squatting a little bit, but also like trying to stand up higher so my head was in the right framing. I think it turned out really good for the framing that I did choose. But also if you were driving by my house, it probably would have looked really funny. But for the last shot, I actually did climb the tree. I just went for it. I just climbed it because I knew if I really climbed it, it would have made the scene that much more authentic. And it was pretty sweet. I was really happy with the way it turned out, and I was really happy with how I ended the film. I felt like that was a really good way to end it, of having the character overcome the challenge that he had just faced, but then also continue with what he was going to do anyways, because that's what he wanted to do, was climb that tree. One thing that I had no control over, though, is the fact that that fly landed on my chapstick in the middle of recording. I was literally like on the ground recording my chapstick, just getting some static footage of it so I knew I had something to work with. And then comes in the fly and I'm like, so I kept recording. Like I just stayed there. I feel like the fly just added that dynamic character interaction with the climber guy that was needed. While making this film, I covered a lot of new ground. Two of the biggest things that I learned were Foley production and film promotion. Foley is the process of recording sound effects after the film takes place. 99% of what you hear in my film is Foley. I chose to do this because I was able to pick and choose what I wanted the audience to hear. I was able to build up an audio atmosphere from scratch, all the way from the beginning of the film to the end. Now, because this was such a new area for me, this actually took the longest amount of time in my post-production process. I soon started to promote my film. I mainly was using Instagram because that was my primary social media platform that I was using at the time, and I also did some promoting on Facebook as well. This was a lot of fun because through the promoting, I was able to build excitement and build hype around the film. I learned a lot more about how you can schedule posts and how you can keep them consistent to where people can trust what you're doing and they look forward to something that you're going to put out. Making this film also gave me a better understanding for why movie studios and production companies sometimes postpone their movie release dates. Schedules don't work the way you want them to. You need to fix something in the film. I actually had to do that on the short film myself. I had to postpone the release date a little bit because it wasn't quite to the area that I needed it to be. It wasn't quite done. So I completely understand that. I don't think that's a regular habit that needs to be done. I think you should always try to shoot for the goal of what your original release date is. That way you can build trust in the audience. Because if you're a studio and you're always changing the release dates, how is your audience going to trust you? If you're like, oh yeah, let's not really go to the theater this week. They're not really going to release it because they're probably going to postpone it again. Like, you want to be able to build trust in your audience. It's a relationship. So I hope you enjoyed taking a behind the scenes look at the Climber short film with me. And hey, if you have feedback, feel free to send it over. I love hearing people's responses. And hey, even if you have a short film, send it over. I would love to see what you're doing and what other fellow filmmakers are doing in the world. Thanks. I'll see you next time.